You're being lied to. Every day, you're told that life should be easy, that you should avoid pain, avoid discomfort, avoid struggle, that happiness comes from convenience, pleasure, and comfort. But that's not the truth. That's the trap. Comfort is the enemy. Comfort is the slow death. It whispers in your ear, "Take it easy. You've done enough. You can do it tomorrow." And if you listen, it will steal your future one lazy day at a time. Because the truth is, if you want to succeed later, you have to suffer now. There's no shortcut, no hack, no easy way. Everyone wants the reward. Few are willing to pay the price. But here's what separates the successful from the forgotten. The successful are the ones who choose the pain now. The ones who wake up early, train when they're tired, study when it's boring, grind when no one's watching. They suffer when it's hard, so they can live how others can't when it's time. Suffer now, succeed later. That's the trade. That's the formula. That's the truth. Nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wakes up craving pain, setbacks, frustration, failure. But you know what all champions have in common? They endured. They didn't run from pain. They didn't hide when it got hard. They didn't tap out because it was uncomfortable. They looked pain in the face and said, "Let's go." Because they understood something most people never will. Pain is the price of greatness. Want a strong body? You're going to feel sore. Want a sharp mind? You're going to get frustrated. Want real discipline? You're going to want to quit every day and keep going anyway. You don't get strong by doing what's easy. You don't get focused by staying comfortable. You don't get successful by avoiding the grind. You have to be willing to suffer, to struggle, to sacrifice. Because everything you want, the strength, the confidence, the freedom, it's on the other side of pain. And the people who win in life, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who were willing to bleed for it. They suffered. They stayed hungry. They kept pushing while everyone else gave up. That's why they succeeded. They didn't pray for comfort. They didn't hope it got easier. They got stronger, and you can too. But only if you understand this. Suffering is part of the process. You don't rise without resistance. You don't grow without pressure. You don't win without war. Suffer now. Succeed later. That's the path. That's the price. That's the standard. You're not always going to feel like it. You're not always going to be motivated. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll be stressed. Some days you'll want to quit. And that's exactly when it matters most. Because success doesn't come to the one who feels like it. It comes to the one who does it anyway. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. When your alarm goes off and every part of you wants to stay in bed, discipline says, "Get up." When your mind starts making excuses, discipline says, "Ignore them." When no one's watching, no one's clapping, and it feels like nothing is working, discipline says, "Keep showing up." That's the price of success, and most people can't pay it because they're ruled by how they feel. They feel tired, so they skip the workout. They feel overwhelmed, so they procrastinate. They feel unmotivated, so they stop. But feelings lie. Discipline doesn't. You want to change your life? Stop negotiating with your emotions. Your feelings will try to protect you, keep you safe, keep you small. Discipline will break you down, then build you into something powerful. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you take one step closer to the life you actually want. Not the life you fantasize about, not the life you talk about, the one you earn. And that's why discipline matters more than motivation. Because motivation fades, but discipline, that's what lasts. Suffer now. Push through the fatigue. Push through the doubt. Push through the feelings. And succeed later, because you earned it. Everyone wants the end result. They want the money, the respect, the freedom, the lifestyle. They want to win, but they don't want to pay the price. They want the rewards without the sacrifice. They want the body without the sweat, the business without the grind, the success without the suffering. But that's not how life works. There is no success without sacrifice. If you want to rise, you have to let something go. Let go of the comfort that's keeping you soft. Let go of the distractions that waste your time. Let go of the people who don't push you to grow. Let go of the excuses you keep repeating. You can't carry the weight of your old self and expect to evolve. The old habits, the old mindset, the old routines, they have to die for a new version of you to live. That's the sacrifice. That's what most people avoid. That's why most people never make it. Because it's painful to let go. It hurts to grow. It's uncomfortable to level up. But you don't get strong by staying the same. You don't become disciplined by doing what's easy. You don't become unstoppable by choosing comfort. You have to give something up. And what you give up now determines what you get later. Sacrifice the distraction now, and you get the focus later. Sacrifice the temporary pleasure now, and you get lasting fulfillment later. Sacrifice the comfort now, and you get power, purpose, and pride later. You suffer now, so you don't suffer later. Because if you don't make the hard choices now, life will make them for you. And you won't like the bill when it comes due. So choose your sacrifice. Choose your pain. Choose the path most won't walk. And you'll earn the life most will never have. The real battle isn't out there. It's not the competition. It's not your circumstances. It's not your environment. It's you versus you. Every morning you wake up, a war begins. Between the voice that wants to stay in bed and the one that says, get up. Between the part of you that seeks comfort and the part that craves greatness. Every day there's a fight between who you are now and who you're trying to become. And most people lose that war. They lose because they listen to weakness. They give in to laziness. They surrender to fear. But you don't have to. You can fight back. You can take control. You can win that war, one decision at a time. Because every time you silence the voice of comfort, every time you choose work over excuses, every time you push through when it would be easier to quit, you build something powerful inside you. You build strength. You build pride. You build a foundation that doesn't shake when life hits back. But none of that comes easy, because becoming the best version of yourself requires suffering. You will be tested. You will feel pain. You will want to give up. That's the battlefield. And the ones who win aren't the ones who avoid it. They're the ones who step onto it every single day and fight for their future. Because they know the truth. If you lose the war within, you'll lose everywhere else. But if you conquer yourself, there is no limit to what you can build. So suit up, show up, and fight like your future depends on it. Because it does. This generation is addicted to instant results, instant likes, instant dopamine, instant satisfaction. We want it now, not tomorrow, not in a year, not in 5, right now. But that mindset is destroying potential. Because real success, it doesn't happen instantly. It's not a week of working out. It's not a month of discipline. It's not a couple of productive days. It's years. Years of sacrifice. Years of showing up. Years of pain, boredom, loneliness, hunger. And if you can't delay gratification, you'll never make it. Because every time you choose pleasure now, you steal from your future. That junk food instead of clean fuel, that's stealing from your health. That party instead of preparation, that's stealing from your success. That dopamine scroll instead of focused work, that's stealing from your legacy. Winners don't chase what feels good now. They chase what feels right later. They suffer now, so they can celebrate later. They grind now, so they can relax later. They sacrifice now, so they can live free later. You think you're losing something by suffering? You're not. You're investing. You're buying your future with the currency of pain. And every hard choice you make today is one brick in the life you're building tomorrow. But if you can't wait, if you can't resist the quick hit, the easy way, the shortcut, you'll never see what you could have become. So train yourself to wait. Train yourself to suffer for what matters. Train yourself to push through the urge for now and aim for what lasts. Because that's the difference between the average life and the life you were meant to live. Suffer now. Succeed later. That's the law. This all comes down to a choice, not a feeling, not motivation, a decision. Do you want the comfort or do you want the life? Because you can't have both. Every person who's built something great, they suffered, they sacrificed, they paid the price when no one was watching. It wasn't luck, it wasn't timing, it was pain, chosen pain, suffering with purpose. While the world chased comfort, they chased greatness. While others made excuses, they built discipline. While others quit, they kept going. Now it's your turn. You will be tempted to settle, to stay soft, to take the easy road. But deep down, you already know, comfort will never give you the life you want. The life you want is earned through fire, through failure, through relentless effort. So if you want to succeed, suffer now. Suffer with purpose. And one day, it'll all be worth it. You didn't quit. You didn't run. You endured. Suffer now. Succeed later. That's how greatness is built.